The yin and the yang, a symbol of Chinese philosophy that represents two forces of contrast. It is believed that these forces, by their differences, help to hold the universe in harmony. In our recent trip to China, we searched for examples of these contrasting forces in order to help find a balance in our understanding of a foreign culture. One of the most notable instances of opposition was in the architecture. Parts of China are amazingly modern and beautiful, such as Hong Kong University, the Beijing Airport, and the Guangzhou Railway Station. China also has many of the world's tallest structures, such as the Canton Tower. However, among the skyscrapers, many of the people that work there still live in shabby and crumbling apartments that sit in rubble, or walk past bombed out and decaying buildings on their way to work. Many even still dwell in shanty homes along the riverbanks. These cities have buildings that are centuries old, as well as brand new architectural exhibits that would be considered modern marvels anywhere else in the world. For further contrast, we looked at the food. We sampled fine cuisine such as a beggar's chicken and ate at the famous Peking duck restaurant. And while the tastes of China were good and the food was always plentiful, we also found comfort in some Western restaurants that provided us with a sense of home. This was in stark contrast to some of the street food we encountered that wasn't so appealing, such as the roasted pigeons and the fried scorpions and insects. We were a little uncomfortable with the way some of the food was being prepared and the lack of health and safety standards we saw. And even in some cases, what was on the menu. The landscape in China can vary drastically as well, from flat, bustling urban metropolis to rural scenes with rolling hills, green trees, and lush terrain. We found that opinions in China can vary as drastically as the landscapes. Some feel that China is an unstoppable world power not to be trifled with, while others had a more pragmatic view of the future. There's no doubt China has been a tremendous growth story in high technology, manufacturing, and transportation. We rode a bullet train, but saw other modes of transit as well. Some of the companies we visited employed high-tech manufacturing and used state-of-the-art machinery, while most others still use brute force, human labor as their main mode of production. And while the CEOs live in lavish mansions, many of their employees reside in less than ideal dormitories. They manufacture state-of-the-art products, but the employees have little to no access to them for themselves. And while most of the world's toys are made in China, we found that the playrooms at these same factories were surprisingly barren. And thus on our trip to China, we found that China is a culture that's balanced by the story of haves and have-nots, the empty and the full, the rich and the poor, the old world amongst the new cities, the yin and the yang.